In this episode of Supply Chain Now Radio, Matt Markham, Director of the Georgia Center of Innovation for Logistics, discusses his vision for logistics in Georgia and the 2018 Georgia Logistics Summit.
Next on Supply Chain Now Radio, we are welcoming Matt Markham, Director of the Center of Innovation for Logistics, part of the vast Georgia Department of Economic Development engine and resources that makes business happen in our state and really beyond. I mean, if you think about the cog in the national economy, for that matter, the international economy that Georgia is, it's not just within the 3,000 counties we have in Georgia. Right, Matt?
No, absolutely.
So good morning and glad you're here. So I bet you jumped out of bed this morning with one thing on your mind, the Georgia Logistics Summit and MODEX, right?
Absolutely.
So kidding aside, I'm pleased to serve this year on the Summit's Executive Committee. We've been really busy. We've been working to make this year's Summit in its 10th year the best one yet. So Matt, let's start by, let's talk about the great partnership we have with MODEX this year.
So like you said, this is our 10th year, and we have in the past worked with MODEX. MODEX is North America's largest supply chain trade show, and they come to Atlanta every other year for their trade show. And we've worked with them in the past, but this is the first year that we've truly integrated our partnership. And so it's going to provide a lot of new opportunities for companies and people in the supply chain industry in Georgia to really network with a broader audience, to see, bigger exposure of different parts of supply chain, and really a good opportunity. The part I'm most excited about, it's a chance for Georgia to showcase its best efforts to an international audience, even broader than we've had in the past. So, but for those who have attended the Georgia Logistics Summit in the past, this will still be the event that you have come to put on your calendars every year. Even with the MODEX partnership, it's still going to be the premier networking opportunity for companies in the state. We're going to have a great lineup of thought leaders this year talking about top industry trends and important themes in ways that Georgia is being successful, and ways that we can continue to build on that. So this is going to be a really good year for the summit, and we're looking forward to it.
Terrific. And for those of members of our audience that may not have heard of MODEX, we're talking about 30,000 folks that are part bringing to Atlanta, right?
Right. It's about 30,000 that they bring in.
So premier networking. If you come out to the summit, you're going to have the opportunity to really add powerful connections to your network, pick up lots of best practices, maybe find some job leads, and of course hear from some of the leaders in the industry out there making it happen. So speaking of which, let's talk about keynotes. So we've got a great lineup this year. So let's walk through that, Matt.
Sure. And so, like we said, with the partnership with MODEX, we've actually broadened the amount of content that's available and the number of days. So it's actually April 9th through 12th. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So there's a long calendar there. And so we're able to, with partnership with MODEX and the people that we bring in, really highlight some big names, big brands for the state internationally. So we start off Monday morning with Juan Perez, who's the CIO for UPS.
Great kickoff speaker. Great kickoff company.
Setting the tone, all about, and it is a lot about digital supply chain, which is things we've talked about. So it's going to be a very exciting kickoff. That's a MODEX session as well. So there'll be a very diverse and broad audience to hear that message. So that's really good for UPS, really good for the state. And then following Governor Deal, Nathan Deal is going to speak as well. This is his. He's come to the Logistics Summit every year since he's been in office. This will be his last year, and it'll really be a good opportunity and a kind of a capstone for him with what Georgia has done in transportation and logistics since he's been governor has been tremendous, and so he gets an opportunity to share some final thoughts with the audience about what's going on in Georgia and what's next to come. So really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be very meaningful for the audience as well. And then on Tuesday, our main Georgia Logistics Summit keynote is Gareth Joyce. He's the Senior Vice President of Customer Operations and the President of Cargo for Delta Airlines.
Hot space.
Yes. Another great Georgia company. Georgia partner, and he's got a really exciting message to share, I believe. He's responsible for, someone described it as everything above and below the wing. So it's moving people and it's moving cargo. And everybody can relate. They've, most are Delta customers and have flown. And so, from people moving and from cargo moving, there's a lot to share there. And
I didn't know there's other airlines other than Delta. Is there?
I'm not aware of it.
Okay, good. Well, I like how you talked about Mr. Juan Perez, how he's setting the tone. I like that, kind of setting the bar, setting the standard. What a great keynote to kind of lead off with this year. So after Mr. Gareth Joyce and Delta speaks, then we've got the Dirty Jobs guy, right?
So yes, and this is again with this partnership with Modex. Modex, their big keynote event is on Wednesday, April 11th, and their day is all around workforce. And Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs, will be the Wednesday afternoon keynote. And Georgia Logistics Summit attendees will be able to attend that one as well. That'll be great. I've got that one penciled in, on my calendar to attend, because I think that'll be very exciting to hear. He has a great message and
absolutely,
and just a dynamic and interesting speaker.
Okay, get him out at Supply Chain 101.
We'll work on it.
Schools, yeah. I know you got the power of the office. And then Pete Minto, we talked about him a little bit pre-show.
Yeah, so I think that, Jack, you had mentioned funny financial guy.
Yeah.
that it is possible to talk about numbers and finances and be engaging. And
we have personalities. Come on.
So, yes, Pete Minto, he spoke last year at the summit about U.S. and global economic trends and was very well received. He's a very exciting speaker, and people really enjoyed him. We got a lot of positive feedback. People learned a lot and had just a great time. And so he is coming back. He'll be on Tuesday afternoon following the keynote from Gareth with Delta. So that's another good one on the calendar to learn about.
What a great lineup. So kind of shifting gears a little bit, talking about, technology and talent. We talked about it in the pre-show. We've got tech disruption breakout. We've got smart state breakout. We've got a tech showcase. Tell us a little bit about why technology is so important at the summit.
Well, and so, I think Jack teed it up really nicely with his conversations about, what technology is doing, disrupting supply chain, and it's affecting all aspects of the business. Georgia is leading the way in a lot. We have a lot of great assets. We have a lot of great companies and entrepreneurs and big thinkers doing work in this. And so we love to use the summit as an opportunity to showcase those things and to bring together people to explore ideas and to see trends and things that they may not get to see otherwise. And so our tech showcase, bringing together early stage companies and startups that are working in logistics and supply chain. We'll have that opportunity to demonstrate what they're doing, to maybe pick up some new customers, get up some good ideas about things that they're working on, and help make some of these ideas a reality as they improve supply chain. So technology is a big theme within the summit because it's a big theme in supply chain. And so we want to make sure that we're putting the thought leaders and we're putting the content together that will let people think about those things, learn what's going on, and hopefully come away with some new ideas.
So I think that tech showcase, what I've learned kind of in my first year as a volunteer on the executive committee is just how practical an approach that the team has taken to engaging and getting folks plugged in and participating in the summit. I mean, to be able to showcase these entrepreneurial, oftentimes, whether they're a startup or in their early years, and give them an opportunity to plug in and showcase what they do and their product, their solution. There's been business that came out of that last year, for no doubt. So what a great approach to building out the summit. So smart state, before we talk about workforce, let's talk about smart state in that breakout session, basically focus on learning how Georgia is making strides to become one of the first smart states. We hear about smart cities often, right? And smart communities, but Georgia is raising the bar again, kind of continuing that theme, talking about how can we become one of the first smart states?
Yeah, so we looked at the smart state as a little bit of a play on the smart cities concept, and obviously a lot of what is going on are happening in urban communities and things where a lot of that, if you're dealing with congestion and movement of goods, those are areas where a lot of that is happening. But for us as part of the economic development, as part of the state of Georgia, statewide, we wanted to make sure that we're able to bring that out beyond just metro areas and talk about the issues and the things that Georgia is doing that makes us makes us really dynamic statewide. So things like cybersecurity and what is going on with the building of the Cyber Innovation Center in Augusta. I mean, that's a
great story.
It's a great story. Cybersecurity, as I know, I've heard Jack talk about before, is one of the top issues. It already is number one, and it will continue to be a number one issue. And so Georgia's doing. We're leading the pack in that, and we want to make sure we're highlighting those things. Of course, what's going on with smart cities in Atlanta with partnership with Georgia Tech and the North Avenue corridor and things like that. Those are important things we definitely want to highlight, but we want to look outside a little bit. Things like rural broadband and how important that it is to have those that connectivity if we want those parts of the state to be successful and to be able to attract businesses and to grow companies and jobs out there. We need to make sure that they have the infrastructure, not just in roads, but also in broadband technology. And Georgia is doing a lot with that. And so that's something that we want to make sure we can highlight to our audience as well.
And when you think about infrastructure, naturally, really talent is part of that, right? You have to have a pool of qualified talent in order to fuel growth and economic development. So I want to drive forward because there's a neat initiative I want us to chat about, and for the sake of time, I don't want to gloss past workforce. It's such a critical part and such a critical theme to the summit. We're going to have breakout sessions on challenges in the logistics workforce. We're going to have a breakout session on the talent pipeline, where you're going to hear stories from how some of the industry leaders are tackling the challenge to find that qualified workforce. And I'm really pleased to moderate the Women in Logistics breakout session, where to a lot of what we've talked about earlier today, how can we ensure that we take a very diverse approach and a fair approach and an all-inclusive approach to bringing on talent into organizations. So Elba Perha-Gallagher, one of our own, the incomparable, is going to be on that panel, and we're looking forward to that. So thank you for taking time out, Elba.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be great, no doubt. So when we talk about talent, we've got to talk about those underutilized pools of talent. And certainly one of those, and we've chatted about this before, the veteran and military community. So as part of the effort to engage this community and get them out to the summit, which really, that's been one of the shortcomings in probably the first 10 years, really making a strong effort to reach out, make sure we educate why they should be here, and then get them out. So this year, we kicked off a veterans initiative. So Matt, tell us about that.
Well, I have to give all credit to Scott, to you, and to members of our executive committee who have really put a lot of time, effort, and financial contributions to making this reality. So what we are doing this year is we are opening up the Georgia Logistics Summit to veterans. I mean, they're always able to attend, but we are really wanting them to come out this year. We are offering a 50% discount off of the entry fee for all veterans and active duty military. And thanks to Scott, to your company, to a couple of our other companies, we are actually sponsoring up to 100 veterans will be able to attend for free to have their registration paid for entirely.
We're trying to crest. I don't know if I can get away with this, but we're going to try to crest over 100 if we've got the funding for it.
That's absolutely. We that's exciting news. We would love to have as many as that we could.
Are you close?
We're yeah, we sure do. In fact, I should have shared this with Matt. We're over 80 seats have been funded and over 80 seats have been filled. And thanks to Matt and Sandy Lake and really the executive committee really getting the word out, I think we're gonna have a demand for over 100, which is a great sign.
Wow.
Right, first year initiative.
First time. Wow, that's impressive.
And again, the leadership of the summit, Matt, Sandy, Emily, the whole Georgia Center of Innovation for Logistics, I'm never going to be able to get that straight, team, they embrace these ideas. And this is just one of the numerous ideas that came out of the committee, made it happen. Greg White, who's with Curo Global, was one of the first persons that said, hey, I'm going to sponsor 10 seats. And then with these little bits of momentum, next thing you know, in 3 weeks' time, maybe 4 weeks' time, we've got almost 100 folks funded and got the word out. So I should mention these companies real quick. Team One Logistics, Spin Management Experts, C.H. Robinson, Anderson Transportation Logistics, NPSG Global, which is building out a lot of distribution centers, Valentine Solutions, Manhattan Associates, and Shippers Warehouse. So really appreciate all those efforts. If you want more information on the Veterans and Military Initiative or if you want to fund it, or if you want to attend it, reach out to me at EVP Echo Victor Papa. I want to close at apexatlanta.org.
So, hey,
Matt,
Scott, I got a challenge for you.
Okay, here comes a challenge.
Not to put you on the spot.
You know,
we got to get a little bit in the uncomfortable zone.
Okay.
Report back to me what percentage of women are getting those
women
scholarships.
Veterans?
That is excellent.
Yeah.
And maybe in those remaining 20.
Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see if we can move that needle.
That is a great.
Because there's some awesome women veterans out there.
Any women veteran associations been asked to participate?
You know, we need to do a better job. We chatted about this last couple of shows. We got to do a better job of creating an effective vehicle to getting word out around around this, not just this initiative, but the summit itself, out to these agencies that deal with veterans of all kinds. So if I've learned anything as we have rolled this thing out, we got a lot of improvement. There's a lot of room for improvement in that area. But, again, it's about leadership. It's about, Matt and Sandy and state and how they have acted on this idea and supported it and have tried to, it's all about action. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Well, at first you have to have awareness and
That's right.
then bring it to the table and have those hard conversations.
And it takes leaders, somebody like Scott who makes it happen.
Exactly.
Well,
a lot of pressure on Scott. I hope his mother's not listening.
Well, great. First off, thanks to Matt Markham for his leadership. Thanks for taking time out, not just today, but I mean, he's part of every single meeting, and then all the ones I'm not privy to behind the curtains. Of course, he came out and supporting the Supply Chain 101 effort to really build up that upstream awareness of supply chain, logistics, manufacturing careers. It's really when you start to say, okay, why is Georgia the #1 state to do business in? It's because of some of this type of approach to the community and industry and employers and the whole shebang. So appreciate you being here, Matt.
Thank you very much.